Naming your characters. It could make your work unforgettable, or it could be excruciatingly embarrassing. In today's episode, we are going to find out how to do that well. Naming your characters. Hey there everybody, welcome to another episode of the Other Epic Story Vlog. This is the show where I offer writing and editing tips and tricks and apply it to my own work, which is an epic dystopian fantasy. If this is your first time here, please subscribe and check out some of my older videos. If this isn't your first time here, welcome back. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about naming our characters. This is something I thought I was good at, and then I realized, no, I'm not good at it. Naming a character is tough because unlike naming your firstborn child, which has no background history and has his whole life to live with that name, naming a character, especially an adult one, you sort of have to look back on this person's life. Every sort of experience that involves that name that person has been through needs to fit that character. For example, my name's Elliot. I made it work. It's a name that comes with a lot of baggage, such as if you spell it backwards, you could almost spell the word toilet. I always tell people that. I don't know why. It's not like something that they figure out on their own. If my name was John or Kevin or, even Elijah, which is very similar to Elliot, my life would be significantly different. People will interact with me different. The way I introduce myself to other people is different. And that is something you kind of have to think about when you give an adult character their name. One way to explore this a little further is understanding the root meaning of a name. Where did this name derive from? What's the etymology of this name? Knowing this would help you understand what the character has gone through and why their parents or guardian or whoever gives names in this world that you created gave this person this name. Was there a great uncle that this name was passed down from? Was it named after something significant? An ex-boyfriend perhaps? We're gonna look at a few examples of characters from my novels with different names. If you haven't heard my novel yet, there's a link to it right up there in the card. Click on it, listen to it. Perhaps after this, it'll still make sense. I'm not gonna go, I'm a spoiler or anything, not that you care. I have three main characters in my story, sort of. They all share the spotlights at various points and their storylines, intersect. The first character is called Bernard Barnwell. All right, can you guess what he does? Yes, he is a farmer, and he does it well. See what I did there? What a clever name to give someone their occupation and how they do it. That's a good strategy. We'll look more into him in a bit. The second character's name is Aaron Delaine. Delaine spelled D-E-L-A-I-N-E. Delaine. What does that mean? I'm not gonna lie, that name is a bit inspired by Roland Deschain, which is the character from the Dark Tower series, Stephen King's Dark Tower series. I just like the way it sounded, I guess. And I'm not that creative, so I just kind of pulled from inspirations around me. I was reading the book at the time. But Delaine, although it was a word that I just thought up in my head, actually has a meaning. And it happens sometimes like that, which is wild. What does Delaine mean? So according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, Delaine means a lightweight dress fabric of wool or wool and cotton made in print or solid colors. I don't know if that's the best comparison of my character. When I think of my character, Aaron Delaine, and sort of how he is, it's ironic that he would be named after fabric because he's more of a gritty, gravel, sandpaper-y kind of character than a soft, fabric-y with patterns as well. So I might keep it just as, it's ironic that it's like that. It's kind of like Dumbledore's direct translation is Bumblebee or something. That doesn't really make sense either. It's just kind of interesting. The last name I want to look at is my character Frank Elias. Elias is an old Hebrew Arabic name. It derived from Israel back in the BC days. It's considered a holy name. So when you name a character after the Bible, I'm sure that it does come with preconceptions. Mary, John, Peter, Bible names often have a long history of being passed down from generation to generation. And that is something you can use to your advantage when you're telling your story. It's nice to have a little origin to the name, you know, like a family name, how it derived. It doesn't need to be a part of your story, but you should know it. So those are the 3 examples of my characters' names. They're not super original by any mean. One way to make your character's name more original to yourself is by understanding the different origins of the word itself and breaking it down and then combining it back together. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Let's take Barnwell, for example. Barnwell. It's a very easy name to come up with when you want to think of a farmer. He's a farmer, he has a barn, he does that well. However, let's try to make that a little bit more original, shall we? Let's find another word for barn. So I just did a quick search for barn in Old English. I'm just gonna stick with English here because it's just easier for me to work with because English speaking. So I found a couple old-timey ways of spelling barn. There's actually quite a few, and the one I selected here is B-E-A-R-N, burn, Barnwell. Old English is of course during the Anglo-Saxon period, and that's essentially what Beowulf is written in. So that may be something to work with there. All right, burn. So we turned barn into burn, and now well. I'm thinking, well, how about let's use another word. Let's use the word skill. Skill is good. That kind of changes it up a little bit more. So I did another quick search on my computer. So this time I'm pulling the spelling from an old Norse way of spelling it, which is the like an old Germanic way of spelling it. And it's spelled S-K-I-L. So we have burn, and now we have skill. Burn skill. That's a little more unique. That's a little more guttural. Burn skill. Weird. We went from Barnwell to burn skill. We could take that a little bit further and continue creating upon this little conjunction that we have here. The farm, for example, that Barnwell lived is located by a mountain. Maybe it could be Mernsquill. Just change it to an M. That's just off the top of my head. It's that easy, really, coming up with names. So coming up with names, you could be as creative as you want, or you could just go with like a random baby name generator, and there we go, Megan. Excellent. Let's carry on. The most important thing to remember is that it fits with your character's personality, your character's background, the culture that the character is living in. Understanding why the parents gave this character that name is an essential part of naming your character. Don't overlook that. Try to think like that character's parents. In a way, you are that character's parent. Oh my God. You've given life. It's that easy. No 9 months of pregnancy or anything. Alright, I'm gonna leave you with that little nugget of truth. If you want tips on how to introduce your character, I have a video for you right up here. Click on it, enjoy, and I'll see you there. Take care, everybody. Have a good night.